Hi everyone, welcome back to Thrive with Sushmita. Have you ever felt stuck while speaking English in daily conversations or daily life situations? Or maybe you just confused how to sound confident and polite in a semi-formal setting? Don't worry, we have got you covered. Today we will discuss about how to deal such situations, and we will talk about 25 sentences that you can use while talking to your friends, your colleagues, or maybe new acquaintances. So why delay? Let's get started. So what is the big deal here? We will also tell you about its meaning and when to use it. So let's get started. So first, what we have done is we have divided it into segments so that each sentence that we talk about are divided into segments. So let's see segment number 1, which is greetings and small conversations or small talks when you meet people. When you meet people, this is the first thing, the first impression or the first sentence that you tell them or start your conversation that matters the most. So how to strike that chord or how to begin that conversation? So let's give you some examples. The first sentence can be like, how's it going? It is a casual way of asking what is happening in their life. So when you say hi, hello, and then you can just ask them how is it going? It not only sounds casual, but it also sounds polite, and it gives them an idea that you are actually interested in what is happening in their life. You can also say, long time no see, how have you been? So you meet somebody after a long time, right? So when you express it this way, you tell them, long time no see, and how have you been? Where were you? What were you up to? So basically it shows that the period that you didn't meet them, or when you're meeting them after a long time, you are actually concerned, or you just want to ask is everything okay, or is everything fine? This also shows the warmth that you have towards that person. You can also say, oh, nice to see you again. You met somebody and then you again met somebody after in a very short duration of time, and you're like, oh my god, hi, how are you? And nice to see you, nice to meet you again. You can also say, hope you're doing well. It was such a pleasure meeting you last time. So you met somebody, you can say, hey, hi, hope you're doing well. Oh, it was such a pleasure meeting you, and it's so good to see you again. These are the way. You can if you meet somebody for the first time, you can also say hi, and then you can just ask if the person doesn't know you and you're meeting them for the first time, you can always say may I introduce myself, and then tell them about you, your name, and stuff like that. So these are the 5 ways you can introduce yourself and maybe strike that first greeting, and also strike that or initiate that conversation. Let's see the segment number 2. In this segment, we will discuss about some sentences that we can use while we are making some plans. So how can that be done? Let's see that. You can say what are you up to this weekend? So this is a polite way of asking time from someone. Are they busy? So if they're busy, they'll tell you. Or maybe if they are not, you can tell them let's catch up for a coffee, or let's go for lunch, or let's sit down and discuss the project, or whatever. So you can just ask what are you up to this weekend? You can also ask, do you have a moment to chat? You want to have a small discussion, or you want to talk about something. You can always say do you have a moment to chat? Or you can just say that are you free for a quick call? Can we discuss? Or maybe if you're giving a call, you can always ask is it the right time to talk? It is very important that you respect someone's time. So whenever you're giving a call, you can always ask is it the right time to talk? Or if you're busy, or whatsoever it is. We can also say, let's touch base later. What does that mean? It is a polite way of telling the person that we will be discussing about it, and there's some topic, and then we will discuss about it later and discuss the same thing again. We can also say, let's circle back on that, which means we will come back to this topic again, after we gather some information, or maybe when the timing is correct. You had a meeting and there is a topic or there's an idea which needs to be discussed again. So we can always say, yeah, okay, let's circle back on the idea sometime later, or maybe let's circle back on that idea after the meeting, right? And discuss it further. We can also say, let's pencil that in. So we use this sentence when you want to fix or schedule something tentatively. Like you have an understanding that it might change. Like you can say, let's pencil that in for, or let's pencil that in for next Tuesday, and we can decide just before that. Like suppose you want to have a meeting on Tuesday, you are tentatively fixing the schedule, but you are aware that it might change, so there is an understanding. So these are the ways which, sometimes in a semi-formal or formal setting, or sometimes when you're calling your friend, your colleague, or person you know. So this way you can make requests, or maybe you can just make a plan. Moving on to segment 3. Here we will talk about the sentences that we can use for expressing our gratitude and maybe apologies sometimes, right? See, we always meet people who do something for us. Maybe somebody just helped you. So it is always very, very important that you express your gratitude to them. Having that feeling of gratitude is very, very important. And when you express that gratitude to somebody, they also feel really happy about it, and let me tell you, they will never hesitate to do something for you the next time. How can we use it in our sentences? We can always say like, thanks a lot for your help, it really means a lot to me. And when you say that, definitely you should have that warmth, and that tone should be correct. Like your tone is saying something and the words that you're using something, it has to align, right? Otherwise the message will not be clear. So you can always say, thanks a lot, it really, really, really means a lot to me. When someone does something for you, you can always say, I really appreciate that. So whatever that person has done for you, you should appreciate that, and you should always make sure that you let that person know about it. So you can always say, I really appreciate that. That's a very polite way to express your gratitude to someone. You can always say, I owe you one. So this shows that not only you are thankful, but also you will definitely return the favor the day that person needs any help from you. You can always say, oh, thank you so much for your help. And remember, I owe you one. Now, sometimes when you need to apologize, you can always say like, maybe my apologies for the inconvenience caused to you, right? Something has happened, and because if you, someone had to, like, there was some inconvenience caused, you can always say like, my apologies for the inconvenience. This takes just a second, and these are words, but let me tell you, it strengthens the bond. It also shows the kind of human you are, right? So if you use these sentences, it basically shows about your personality. You can also say when somebody tells something and maybe you couldn't hear, you cannot say like, I'm so sorry, I just didn't catch that. Or maybe you can say, sorry, I beg your pardon, I couldn't hear what you said, right? So in this way you can express your gratitude and apologize for certain things. So now let's move on to our next segment, which is segment number 4. So let's discuss how to give, or how to give your opinions and feedback. See, we all have our own opinions, right? But we have no right that the person has to agree what you think about something. So it is very, very important that you are very polite and put across your thoughts and views and opinions in a manner that someone isn't hurt about it, right? So let's say if we are discussing about something, you can always say, and if you have liked that idea, you can say, oh wow, I just couldn't agree more. You are so apt, you're so correct. I couldn't agree more. So you are showing your full support to the view or the opinion that the person has shared. You can always say that, oh, that's an interesting perspective, I didn't think about it. So maybe you are in a discussion and somebody puts across their own thought, and you're like, maybe you haven't thought about it, and you're really appreciating that this opinion is so cool, so good, so nice. You can always say, oh wow, that's such an interesting perspective, and we can think about it. You can also say, let's agree to disagree. Basically, we use this phrase when there is an argument, or maybe you can just put a full stop to the argument or disagreement to a particular topic which is happening. So, I mean, there are two people who have different opinions, so you can respectfully end the conversation there and just say, yeah, it's fine, let's just agree to disagree. So it's a polite way where you just ended the conversation, wherein you wanted to stick with what is your opinion, and the person can also stick with their own opinion. So sometimes when it is about giving feedback, you can always say like, okay, what do you think about that? Like, you have discussed something, and you can say, okay, if this is the thing, like, if you can give me a feedback, you can always say, what do you think about this? Like, what is your idea? Like, how do you feel about it? What do you think about it, right? You can always say that I would like to hear from you. Maybe like you have a presentation and you've just mailed it to your boss, and you meet him at the cafe, and you can just say, okay, so boss, I've mailed the presentation to you, and I would like to hear from you, or I would like to hear your thoughts, or I would like to listen to your thoughts. So you just want to get the feedback. So it is a semi-formal way to ask someone about what they think of your ideas or opinions. Let's move to the next segment, which is segment number 5. Let's discuss some ending conversations. So when you meet somebody and you had some good time with them, and now it's time that you say goodbye to them, it is always good to end that conversation in a very polite way. Let's see how we can do that. You can always say, oh, it was great catching up with you. So you were so happy and you had such good time. You can always say, oh, we had such a wonderful time. It was great catching up with you. You can always say that, okay, so it was good meeting and it was great meeting you. Let's connect again, or maybe let's catch up sometime later. So you will again meet. So this is a way to tell them that you enjoyed their company and you will look forward to connect with them again, or maybe meet them again. Right? You can and that shows that you were actually in the conversation, or maybe whatever time you spent together, you were absolutely present there. Next, you can say, and let me tell you, this is the most classic, and we all use it very often. You can always say, take care and have a great day ahead. Take care and great day ahead. It shows that you're concerned and you really want them to be nice and safe and good. So you can say, take care and have a great day ahead. You can also say, like, somebody, if you're meeting somebody, and the person is going through something, and you meet them, and it's a kind of a conversation you had. So before leaving, you can always tell them to take care, and you can always say that, let me know if you need something. Agar aapko kisi cheez ki zarurat hai, please mujhe bataiye. So you can always say, let me know if you need anything. There's one more way that you can say that I will revert. Sometimes this happens in a formal or a semi-formal setting, where you can always say like, I will revert. Sometimes people use it like, I will revert back. No, revert and back is basically the same thing. You cannot use it together. I will revert on this, which means I will get back to you on this. So you can use it like in either ways. You can always say, I will revert to you on this, and you can say that I will get back to you on this. So wow, so we had this mini toolkit where we discussed and learned about 25 sentences. So this will help you to sound smoother, more polite, and most important, confident about yourself. Let me tell you that this will help you a lot, like it will give you that zeal, like okay, we can be confident and we can speak and we can express it so well. So let me know which of these, or which of these sentences is your favorite and you will be using it. Till then, keep thriving and keep shining. Thank you so much.